Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to my first official YouTube video. Thank you. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Dr. Mariam. I am a junior foreign trained doctor. I make medical videos to help junior doctors navigate easily through the medical life, as well as health videos for people genuinely curious about their health. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what I've learned after being in the medical life for 10 years. And let's just say some of the things I've learned are quite interesting. So I have my tea, I have my notes. Let's go. So it occurred to me that this year will actually mark my being in medicine for 10 years. That's right. I started medical school in 2012, and come June this year, I would have been in medicine for 10 years. I know. So along the way, I picked up a couple of things, a couple of realizations that have not only changed my mindset, but have completely shaped me as a person. So I thought I'd share my wisdom with you all, because this might not even only apply to medicine. I feel like can be applied to many other professions as well. So without further ado, let's go. So the first thing I've actually learned is in medicine. Let me move closer for this. In medicine and in any other profession, you cannot come and go and kill yourself. I still am. Everybody who knows me knows that I am a very neurotic person. Like I'm very anxious, and because of that, I hate impending tasks. Like when I have an impending task, it's like this dark cloud looming over my head. Like I have to get it done before I can eat. I have to get it done before I can sleep. I have to get it done before I until my body crashed. And I realized that I could not carry on like that, because the truth is, work no dey finish. And the thing is, if you die, like the most you get is a few minutes of silence. And that's it, you're replaceable. Gone, khalas, bye. Another thing is, in like being a doctor, you have this responsibility, like your patients are your responsibility. So there's some stubborn, very stubborn patients that like they'll not take their medications, they'll not do this test, they'll not come back when you need them to come back, and you'll be following them, chasing them, trying to get them to do the right thing. And at the end of the day, you'll only be stressing yourself because it doesn't finish. So at the end of the day, I just realized that I cannot come and go and kill myself for my job, and I cannot come and go and kill myself for my patient. So the second thing I've learned is medical school was actually the easiest part. Believe me or not, your college days are actually the best days of your life. I know you're going to be like, what are you talking about? All the memes on social media are about how hard college life is, how hard medical school is, blah, 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 blah. And then there's this misconception that only smart people can get into medical school, which I firmly, I'm not a believer of. I feel like with hard work and dedication, you can get in and actually do well, okay? So hear me out, okay? In med school or in college, you're young, the future looks bright, it can be anything you want to be, and you had one problem and one problem alone. Pass your exams and graduate. Literally, that was it. Like you had no real life problems, okay? When you graduate and enter the real life now and reality hits you, that is when you will understand what I'm talking about. Just being a doctor in Nigeria and being a Nigerian doctor are two separate things, and that's a topic for another day, so I'll keep it by the side. But when you graduate, that's when you have to like actually start being an adult. An adult and medicine mixed together is just a whole mess. Like finding a job is another thing, passing exams is another thing, finding the right profession for you is another thing, toxic co-workers, trying to balance medicine with your life. It's just like a lot. So believe me when I say that your college years are actually the best days of your life. Number 3, and this might be a shocker, so you might want to take a seat, but your grades back in school do not matter in the long run. Trust me. Like, don't get me wrong, try your best to get the best grades that you can, graduate with whatever class that you want to, but I'm just telling you that out in the real world, nobody cares, okay? I graduated with first class and honors in medicine. Wow. And I have been to so many interviews, and not one of those interviews did anybody ever ask me how my grades were in med school, what class of degree I graduated. Like, nobody cares, honestly. The only thing they do care about is your skills and the experience that you have. So if you're a student out there struggling, stressing, I'm here to tell you that you can relax. As long as you pass your exams and you graduate, like, the real world is actually the equalizer. Like, nobody gives a hoot whether somebody graduated with like straight A's or you have like a couple of B's or C's. Nobody cares. Like, you're in the great equalizer, you're all equal and you have equal opportunities. So chill, enjoy your experience, because like I said, medical school or your college days are actually the best experience. Number 4, medicine does not pay enough. Okay, so actually if you compare the salary structure in Nigeria, doctors are actually paid reasonable compared to other people, but that's not where the problem is. The problem is doctors have so many things like at the top of their head. Let me just break it down. An average doctor would need to renew his license every year. That costs money. And then to renew your license, you need something called CME points. CME stands for Continuous Medical Education. Those cost money as well. You need, I think, 20 points to get your license renewed, and you can only get those points through seminars, updates, conferences, which all cost money. Then come certifications. Like for doctors, you see in the movies they're doing chest compressions, defibrillating. Do you think they're just allowed to do that? No, you have to be certified. There's something called heart savers, BLS, which is basic life support, ACLS, which is advanced cardiac life support, ATLS, which is advanced trauma life support. So many certifications that doctors actually have to keep under their belt in order to be qualified. Those cost money as well. And then books, obviously. So as we all know, doctors need to continuously be updating themselves, and they can only do that through like updated books, e-learning resources, which again cost money. And out of all the different types of books, medical books are ridiculously expensive for some reason. I don't know why medical books are so expensive. Like any other type of book is reasonably affordable, but then you want to buy a medical book and they call an astronomical price. I don't know why that is. Then you have equipments. Like doctors need to have stethoscopes, and then because this is Nigeria, doctors need to buy their own patella hammers. Some people even buy their own BP monitors, pulse oximeters, thermometers. So all those medical equipments cost money as well. And then exams. Of course, you wouldn't be a doctor without having exams every single 2 to 3 years of your life. Like, it's a thing, unless you want to stay a medical officer and be a general practitioner. But you always have exams, which again cost money. So my point, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that although doctors are paid a reasonable, should I even say reasonable, like the thing that they pay, I'm planning to make a video on how much doctors are paid, because I feel like there's a lot of misconception. People think doctors make a lot of money, but I mean, when you actually hear like what doctors are paid, it's actually sad. Anyway, back to my point. So my point is that although doctors get paid a reasonable amount compared to other people in this country, the amount of things that they have to do, the money that they're paid doesn't cover for that. And that's why a lot of doctors are always in financial disadvantages and financial constraints. And that's why doctors are always complaining, because at least if you're not going to pay them enough, at least reduce some of the burdens that they have to go through. But no, just like any other doctor out there in the world, they have to do the same things, just with less finances. And that's why doctors complain a lot. It's actually not fair. So the next thing I've learned is that you cannot survive on one skill set. It's impossible. I've never met any successful person who made it alive, who's financially free, with just one skill set. That's not possible. Like, it's there's a reason why people venture out. Okay, you cannot rely on that one thing that you know how to do and expect it to make your living. So if you're out there sitting, maybe probably looking at me thinking I'm crazy because you think your one skill set, what you studied in uni, your degree, your master's is all you need, I am afraid I have to tell you that you need to get off right now. Go learn a separate set of skills, because without that you will not be happy in a few years. I can guarantee you that. Number 6, doctors are so bad with money. I don't know if it's like a prerequisite for being a doctor, like you have to be bad at math or bad with money to be able to be a good doctor. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, they have this typical rat race mentality of going to school, graduating and getting a job, and they think that's how you make it in life. most doctors will just be like living end to end, salary to salary. And that's one of the things I've learned being an adult, seeing my peers and everything. Like, our generation is so bad with money. We make bad investments. That's if we invest at all, because we think the way to make it, and that was how we were raised. That was what we saw our parents doing, is you work, you make your money, and then you save it, and then you retire. Not knowing that, if you didn't know that right now, I'm telling you that saving your money is actually not a good investment, because there's inflation rates every year, about how many percent, I forgot, I need to check that. But saving your money in your account actually makes you lose money yearly, because there's inflation and your money devalues. Anyway, that's a different topic. So I would really advise for the person watching right now, if you find yourself in that situation of always struggling with money, living salary to salary, like end to end struggling, really look at your finances and know how to handle them. You can get a lot of free financial literacy videos on YouTube, so I would recommend you do that too, because I mean, struggling is not fun. So the next thing I've learned is that being a doctor is more of a lifestyle rather than a profession. For example, an engineer can keep their hat, go home, and clock out. Like, nobody will look for them. Even if somebody looks for them, they're not gonna answer. Like, they're done. Like, they're retired for the day. But as a doctor, you really cannot stop being a doctor. You actually never stop being a doctor. You'll be a doctor at home. You'll be a doctor at weddings, in the mall, in the gym. You'll always be a doctor. Like, you can't just remove your white coat, hang your stethoscope, and be like, no, I'm done. No, it follows you around. So it's more of a lifestyle rather than a profession. And for anyone thinking of going into that field, this is something essential that you need to know, that you actually never stop being a doctor. So just embrace the fact that you will always be somebody's, what should I say, free consultation. Like, people will not respect the fact that you just came back tired and you don't want to work. Like, nobody gives a hoot. People just expect you to, like, they will demand things from you, and as a doctor they feel like you have to give it to them. Unfortunately, that's the reality, and I'm telling it to you right now. Next, simply being a doctor will not make people respect you. Okay, so that's like a bitter truth that I want people to know. So, because a lot of people go into medicine thinking, oh, I'll do it for the money, oh, I'll do it for the prestige, oh, I'll do it for the respect. In this day and age where everybody is frustrated, medicine isn't really considered a noble profession. Like, it is, but not like it was before. So people will not care if you're walking around with a white coat. They will do whatever they want to do to you. Okay, especially right now that we have a lot of cases where doctors are being abused, insulted. I have a personal story regarding this, not to me, but somebody I know, where a patient got up and wanted to fight her when she was, just because she didn't do something that wasn't her job. So I feel like doctors are being harassed for no reason, almost like bullied. And some patients, I'm telling you, it's like they come to the hospital just to frustrate your life. Like, my fellow medics, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just telling you that, just people think that, oh, you're a doctor, people must respect you. That's actually not the case, especially as a woman in medicine. That's like worse. Like, that's a whole other discussion. But just know that being a doctor, simply just because you're a doctor, will not make people respect you. And last but not the least, I never, ever expected to be dealing with politics in medicine. And that's one thing we don't talk about. Like, medicine is supposed to be a patient-centered profession, right? It's supposed to be about the patient. Everything should revolve around the patient, but that's not true. In the hospital, it's not always about the patient, because there's a lot of politics. For example, if somebody senior than you comes in, you cannot be taller than them. You have to like lower your height, speak to them in a low tone, address them, good morning, sir. That sir is very important. I don't know why in Nigeria we value that sir and ma. Like, for me personally, if somebody calls me ma, I feel insulted because I feel like I'm not that old. But for some reason in Nigeria, if you don't say that good morning, sir, good morning, ma, no problem. And I've gotten into trouble multiple times because of that, because I'm so used to saying good morning, because you're greeting somebody. Should it really matter if you add that sir or not? To them it matters. Anyway, so you have to do that. when your senior comes in, you have to carry their handbag, or you have to hold their phone, you have to carry their backpack. You cannot go home before your seniors. And then if somebody puts you to do something, like if you're doing somebody's work and then another person wants you to do their work, you have to decide which one of them is senior. They can both be equally the same rank, but now you have to start finding out, who is older, or who achieved this rank the earliest, so that you can go and drop this one and do that one for them, because if you don't do it, it will be a whole nother issue. And then there's this whole thing about medicine. Medicine is funny. It's like you're always in school, because it's a teaching profession. You'll always be asked questions. So whether it's during rounds, during surgery, or during clinics, you'll always be asked questions. And it goes from like the highest rank to the lowest rank. There's this thing where if your senior is asked a question and he can't answer that question, even if you know the answer to that question, under any circumstances, even if like he couldn't answer and they turn to you and they're like, okay, if you know the answer, you cannot answer that question, even if you know the answer, because it's considered disrespectful. You know, Nigeria, we're the most hypocritical people. Like, we preach about respect, about culture, about like respect, but we're not respectful. We're the most hypocritical people out there. We teach about discipline, but we are not disciplined. If we're disciplined, would we be having the issues that we're having right now? But no, because you have to be disciplined and you have to be respectful. You cannot answer a question that your senior cannot answer. Is it my issue? Is it my problem that my senior cannot answer the question? But no, even if you know the answer, you cannot answer the question. Anyway, this brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys were entertained. I hope you guys at least gained some wisdom from what I had to say. If you liked anything I had to say, please leave me a like and let me know in the comment. And if there's anything that you want me to talk about, I'm always open to suggestions. Whether you're a doctor or not a doctor and there's something you want me to talk about, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.